Coming up on today's Code Bet Daily is an absolute feast of weekend punting looks. We've got AFL, NBA, everything. It's all coming out the wazoo. We're talking player props, game picks, best bets. It is a bunch of sports, a bunch of looks. Stats guy, what are you looking at?
Yeah, I'm looking at some goal kickers in the AFL and a consistent Frenchman in the F1.
Love it. Look at this. We've got motorsport, AFL, NBA. It's all happening. Can't wait. Get stuck in. It's Code Bet Daily. It's a very good podcast. You should check it out and listen right now. All right. Welcome to Code Bet Daily. It is Friday. Right, March 17. It is St. Patrick's Day. Happy St.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Get a Guinness up here.
Exactly. I'll be necking a few later on just to deal with Holla Donnelly's absolute demolition of my day. That's right. It is episode 73 of Code Bet Daily. I am your host, Jaymz Clements. I'm the editor of a very good website we like to call codebet.com.au. Go check it out for all your betting analysis and odds comparisons, all the good gear. I'm joined, as always, by one of the pontiffs of punting today. We've got Liam McAllion over there. They call him the stats guy. What's going on?
Absolutely. Yeah, not much. I'm still a bit gobsmacked by the draw last night in the AFL, but yeah, glad it's back.
Love it. As mentioned, Alex Donnelly on holidays, leaving me to do all his work. Right, today, this is what, Code Draw Daily?
Code Draw, yeah. Yeah, we didn't tip that, that's for sure.
How did we miss that, stats guy? I don't
know. 61 to 1 or whatever it is, probably more.
Anyway, Code Bet Daily is exactly what it says on the tin. Codes, bets, daily? Sure.
Yeah, still need to work on the codes.
We do cover a lot of sports, though, so I guess that's the codes, right? We do cover all different sorts of sports. We play game picks, best bets for today, tomorrow, the weekend. It's an absolute shockers weekend, stats guy. I'm stoked on this one.
Awesome. Pumped.
Let's get right into it. Player props, best bets, game picks, etc. What are we looking at today? I am NBA. A huge weekend ahead. I'm very, very stoked on this. And AFL across the weekend, I'm leaning in on a Saturday game at the moment because it's really, really good. Port Brisbane.
Yeah.
Anyway, what about you, Stats? What are you looking?
Yeah, I'm going to have a look at some AFL as well, a few player props in that. And then back to the F1, which starts tonight, the weekend, which I'm very excited about. And Saudi Arabia.
Let's go. Yep. Righto, then let's get right into them. Player props, simple one for me. It's Stats Guy's mate, Chucky Cameron, out there flying to Brisbane. So I'm actually leaning on this Brisbane Port game a little bit. I mean, I've covered it for the site, but also it's probably the most exciting of on one hand, I'll talk about it again in the game picks, but you've got talent everywhere. You got two teams absolutely just chomping at the bit to improve on last year. And Chucky Cameron, he sort of tends to be the forgotten man of that Brisbane forward line. 3+ goals versus Port. It's $3.45 at the moment with Ladbrokes, and he has done that in 6 straight games at the Adelaide Oval. 6 straight.
I saw you write that down. That's unbelievable. It's not an easy place to play. 6 straight. That's nuts.
I absolutely love it. I mean, of course, he did play for the Crows, didn't he? But
yeah, but I don't know if that might not have counted in the 6 straight because they would have played there. I'm trying to think how many times they would have played there, but maybe. Yeah, still, he's done that a lot, so why not?
I absolutely love it because I think the point of this one is you think about the improvements that Brisbane made to that midfield. You think, that means Joe Danaher and the big hippie, Eric Hipwood. They'll have plenty of chances. Jack Dunstan, the new man. What it says to me is that it means that there's going to be better delivery and way more opportunities for Chucky Cameron to get right around a few goals and just a couple of snaps. Boom, you get your plus goals.
Not wrong.
Great price because I think the consensus across a lot of the sites that we have listed on CodeBet $2.10. So if you get around the $3.45 with Ladbrokes, I'll be jumping right over that.
That's a big difference, yeah.
It is right now. So I think he's a bit underpriced there on Ladbrokes. So I'll be jumping on that. And if you wanted another player prop for a bit of a weekend NBA action, I'll tell you what. Steph Curry is going to eat up this Atlanta Hawks team alive tomorrow. That's, I think, at 9:40 Saturday morning. Warriors, what do they do on the road, that guy?
Lose.
That's right, they stink. And they stink. But I think this is a fascinating game because Atlanta aren't very good. They're very mid. Dude, so mid. But I think the Warriors can actually win that. So give me Golden State, and I think Steph goes off. I think Clay goes off. I think it's a doubleheader where they just go absolutely bang and demolish the Hawks. So you could probably go 30-plus points for Steph, 25-plus points for Clay. There's a nice little player prop for you there as well. Stats, guys, what's yours?
I was wondering what you were going on with there. I'm having a look at Melbourne versus the Dogs. It's a pretty big matchup, the 2021 Grand Final rematch. So two of the really strong midfields going head-to-head, so I'm really excited about that. I'm having a look at Melbourne's forward line, who lost their leading goal kicker to injury this week, so having a look at some other value. Got Cozzy Pickett. He kicked over 40 goals the last 2 years, averaged just under 2 goals a game, so I really like him to get 2+ goals in this one. He got $2.02. I'm surprised it's that high. Just as I said, he kicked 41 goals in 23 games last year, just under that 2 average. His pace and ability to row packs is one of the best in the league as a small forward, probably just behind Chucky Cameron, as we were just talking about. I love what he's doing for Melbourne. He's 70% accuracy, which I looked at, is like just above your average of sort of goal kickers, but half of his goals are snaps from the boundary. He does over his head kicks, so I'm surprised it's that high. So that's still really accurate for him. Bulldogs have a lot of players that like to run off, and they have a lot of tall. So I think he'll find some space in this one and at least get 2. I reckon he could even get 3 or 4 just from he's so fast. So yeah, really like Cozzy in this one.
I love it. There's also, look, in terms of player props, game picks, that's where we then move on to. That's a really good one, to be honest. I love the Dogs-Demons game. This is another game for this weekend where you're just like, well, just more questions than answers, I'll tell you that much.
I know. So many tough games this week.
Because we don't know what the Dogs are going to look like. The Demons are just beset by injuries out of nowhere for round 1, and it's going to be chaos, but I do love me some Cozzy, so that's awesome. Some game picks for the weekend, any sort of match leans. At the moment, Stats Guy, this is March. It's March. This is March.
It is.
What happens in March? Bit of madness. I love
March
this.
Madness, yeah.
St. Patrick's Day, got a bit of March Madness going on. Living in the States, this was always one of the more chaotic days on my calendar because I remember going to actually go watch some basketball. You know, basically opening day of March Madness. You go hang out with some buds at a bar. You're like, it all kicks off. It's very early. And then you go, wait a minute, it's St. Patrick's Day as well. There's literally rings of young people on the streets at 10:30 in the morning. You're like, I love this country. God, it's good. So we'll see how I go on later on. But it does remind me of March Madness. If you filled out your bracket, look, prayers up because Arizona got knocked off today by Princeton already. That's a 2-15 upset, which is hilarious. One of them tends to happen each year. 2-15 is like way more common than you think. No one thought it'd be Arizona, least of all me, because Stats Guy, my bracket is basically already busted. I had Arizona going to the Final Four. I was not a happy keeper. So my game picks today, I'm just going to say, take that all with a big grain of salt.
Is it one of those like ESPN where they show people's brackets and it's like 1% of brackets left or something ridiculous like that?
It's like Arizona is a 2 seed. They were a really good 2 seed as well, but to lose to Princeton 59-55 like they did, absolute shocking turn of events. So if you're like me, you had them going to the Final Four. I had Marquette betting them there in the Final Four, and Marquette eventually losing to Gonzaga. I just have zero faith in the rest of my bracket now. So great. I'm just saying there is an absolute cracker, though, in the next round, which will be, I think, on our Sunday or Monday, which is Kansas-Arkansas. I really like Arkansas in that. That's an 8 seed against a 1 seed. Just keep an eye on that. Arkansas are a very tough team. They just got past Illinois literally just then. So I'm excited to see how that goes. So there's a bit of a game lean, but also AFL. My actual favourite lean for this weekend was this Brisbane-Port game. Brisbane last year had the 3rd best offense in the league. Port had the 8th best. Port are at home. This game is going over. I expect an absolute goals fest. Everybody did yesterday. Like Collingwood versus Carlton was the same vibe yesterday, right? But it just turned into a bit of a midfield slog and no one could actually boot a goal. So that put a bit of put a knife in the overs. But for this one, the line's a 1.5 point favourite. So basically, it's your head-to-head. Just go, I think Brisbane will win this. And the over is 164. So I'm just going to dump the minus 1.5, the 164 over altogether. That's 347 at Top Sport. I really like this because I think the potency of that Brisbane forward line versus Port's ability, especially with that sort of upgraded midfield of theirs, to just sort of keep it moving forward. And you sort of get a bit of a back and forth score fest. I love that idea. So let's go with that one. Port Brisbane, $3.47, the over, and Lions minus 1.5. And I think if you looked at the over stats for both these teams last year, Brisbane had their total hit 9 out of 13 games away, which is just crazy. Like, that's just nuts. Okay. On the road to have like that many points go, in games. That's awesome. So I'm all over it. What's yours there, stats guy?
Yeah, I would really love that one. Just two really good forward lines going head to head. So yeah, jump on the over. I'm going to have a look at the other Saturday night game. Is Gold Coast versus Sydney. Now Gold Coast actually have a pretty good record against Sydney, which we were pretty surprised about. But I don't think they can beat this Sydney team. You got both teams full of rising stars. I think we talked about in the AFL preview. But this Swans rising stars are just unbelievable. You got your favorite Chunley Warner. You've got Errol Gordon. You've got Logan McDonald, who looks set to be a pretty good forward. I really like their younger stars coming through. They've already gelled as a team. They sort of have a really set team from last year that dominated last year, other than the grand final, obviously. But then you got the Suns. They've got a couple of new players from clubs, a couple of young guys debuting, where the Suns are just really set in their team. So I really like them in this matchup, and surely they cover this 6.5 line. I was surprised it's not a bit more. I think that line's sort of set because Gold Coast are actually a pretty solid team at home, but I think a lot of new players coming into this Gold Coast side. Sydney just are a much more set side and know their game plan a lot better. So I've got to take them at the -6.5, which is $1.95 on TopSport, which is a lot better odds than all the other sites. So jump on TopSport for that one.
That's great value. And yeah, I agree with you with that one. The key aspect of this is settled, isn't it? Like Sydney are just a settled team and they know what they're doing. So I think they come in absolutely frothing after last year's grand final defeat and smash the poor Suns.
Get some revenge on the poor Suns. Yeah.
I mean, this is it. Like the Suns, as you said, Suns are good at home, but it's just the quality, the difference in quality. The Sydney Swans are awesome. But this is it. Sydney can also throw up a stinker now and then.
They did it a few times last year, so hopefully they don't do that.
Well, it's called gambling, not called just take my money. Best bets for today, tomorrow, easy one for me. I'm all over the NBA. We've got 3 belters. I think yesterday I took 2 underdogs and 2 favorites. Today I'm just going to go 3 favorites because there's actually some amazingly good value lines on these ones.
Yeah, why not?
The Wizards at the Cavs. The Cavs are absolutely just in a weird sort of, okay, we just went pretty close to beating Philly. We feel pretty good about ourselves. They're the 4 seed in the East. The Wiz are just fighting tooth and nail and still sucking and just can't make they're so just like a roller coaster of emotions, this Wizards team. They look great. They look horrible. They look great. They look horrible. They've got Kuzma. They've got the extreme Zingamil, Kristaps Porzingis. They've got Brad Beal. Their sort of other young dudes just are so inconsistent. And when you've got 3 dudes like that at the top, like Zinger and Beal, who aren't exactly paragons of consistency themselves, it's tough to rely on them. The Cavs, meanwhile, went absolutely toe-to-toe with Philly. They're only 5-point favorites at home tomorrow. I am absolutely jumping on that Cavs one because that has all the makings of a smashing. As long as everybody on Cleveland is playing, Darius Rucker, Judy Garland, Donnie Mitchell, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Go the Fro Allen, the Thin Towers, shout out NBA Australia.
Thin Towers, I like that, yeah.
I think that is an absolute crushing. Boston, they go to Portland. You've seen that your Celtics are absolutely in struggle town. This has to be the spot.
Hopefully we bounce back, surely.
They have to, Stats Guy. They have to. Not just for this bet, just in general.
I'm a bit worried. I know.
This is the thing. Philly are right there. They are right behind the Celtics. The Celtics literally can't afford to lose any more games because this is a battle of like 2-3 spots. The Celtics are tied with the Sixers on losses in the loss column, so 22 losses each. Philly have 2 games in hand on them. Boston need to keep winning, or they're going to be like going, hang on a second, how are we 3rd? What just happened? And you want to have home court in the playoffs. It's simple as that. So what are you doing, Boston?
They have to, yeah.
And I think this is going to be a big test for Boston. Look, Portland have been stinking it up of late. They've lost 4 on the trot. They're very much just gone, no, we'll keep trying a little bit, but not too much because we're tanking. That's stealth tanking stats, guys. So give me the 5 points for the Celtics, even on the road. Tatum, Brown, they'll crush it. And then the last one of this 3-legger, New Orleans go to Houston. New Orleans, talk about teams that are also still trying to fight for their play-in lives. You've got the Pelicans 33 and 36 at the moment. They've just lost another one. They do have Brandon Spindles Ingram. They've got CJ McCollum. They should be better than they are. They're still waiting on the big rig Zion Williamson. He's not coming back anytime soon, so they need to do it right now. Houston are the second worst team in the NBA. They did just beat the Boston Celtics, so they are tough.
Don't worry about that.
Pelicans are on the road, so this could be a little bit of a tough one. It is a 6-point line. I'm going to lean on the Pelicans to actually cover that. No hassles. I don't feel wildly confident because Houston have just played spoiler, but this is a Houston team that also they suck. They've won 2 in a row out of nowhere, right? And before those 2 games, they'd literally only beaten San Antonio for about a month.
Who also
the only team they'd beaten for a month was San Antonio. They've just ripped off wins against the Lakers and the Pelicans at home. The Celtics and the Lakers, and now they play the Pelicans. I'm a little bit worried, but come on. This is a team that's just been beaten by the Bulls, the Pacers, the Nets, the Grizzlies, the Nugs, the Blazers, just always to the tune of about that sort of 15, 20 sort of amount. They've got a bit of pep in their step right now. I don't think the Pelicans take them lightly. Pelicans win that one. So I think that is a 3-leg multi that comes in at $6.95. I think that was with Bet365. And if you want to take a head-to-head, you can check out Fox Sports Lab with myself on it as well. This was my head-to-head multi on that one. Yeah. I think this was simply Warriors over Hawks and Lakers over Mavs tomorrow as well. Bang those together. Pretty good price I think you'll get on that one too because Warriors on the road, they stink. The Mavs, who knows? Luka, Kyrie, we don't know if they're going to be playing. Nobody ever knows if they're ever going to be playing. They don't know if they're going to be playing. Kyrie's like, oh, man.
Sometimes, yeah.
Mercury's in retrograde, man. I don't know if I'll play today. And the Lakers, Anthony Davis, he's flying. He's absolutely dominating. What do the Mavs have? No size. Absolutely zero size. They've got negative size. Like their bigs in their last game combined to shoot, I think it was 2 of about 13 between their 3 bigs, which is essentially what? Max Shickley, Dwight Powell, and Davis Bertans. It's like, shocking. So give me the Lakers. Right, what's your best play gear over the weekend there, Stats Guy?
Yeah, I'm having a look. We're going back to Saudi Arabia for the F1 Grand Prix over there. Like I said the other day, you've got... Yeah, absolutely. You've got Red Bull who are absolutely flying, and even the other competitors are saying it's not fair or they're going to win everything and having a sook. So let's have a look at some value, not to win because I think Red Bull and Big Max is going to win, but another look at the points. I talked about Valtteri Bottas the other day. Around a similar price is one of my favorite drivers in the whole grid is Pierre Gasly. Gasly is a really good French driver. He's been one of the consistent drivers for the last 5 years at least. The last 2 seasons, not including this one, he's got 21 points finishes just in the last 2 seasons. He always is in that 6 to 10 mark. Even in a bad car last year in AlphaTauri. This year he's in a better car in Alpine. Alpine are probably in that 5th to 6th best car. They've just jumped McLaren as probably the next fastest car, which McLaren we're trying to go up there and they've just been horrible so far. He got a points finish. I think he finished 9th in the first week. They've got 2 really good French drivers in Ocon and Gasly. I just think, he's too consistent not to get another points finish here. He finished in the points last year here. I really like him, and he's just a really good driver. They're not the best car, but they're just fighting for that. Those last few spots, they'll probably finish most races 7th to 12th or something like that. But the form he's in, and he's a very confidence driver. Used to drive for Red Bull, lost his confidence, so they got rid of him, but now he's got his confidence back. So I think, probably finish around 7th to 10th again, and you get $1.85 for that. So I'm pretty happy with that one.
That's a really good spot of value. I like that. The Alpine car this year sort of does look like one of those awesome random mid-pack cars that you can, as you said, right? Like you can just about always bank on them finishing in that 7 to 10 range. It's like, we got 2 points. And you're like, yeah, good. There's
a big gap between the top and the... You've sort of got about 4 teams that are just above everyone, and then you got the bottom few teams that are way behind. So you can bank on them being in that middle stuff, unless something happens to their car or they crash or something. You can bank on them getting the points, I reckon.
Love it. That's a great spot, Stats Go. Well done. Enjoy that. I can't wait for that Saudi Arabia race. That'll be fun.
It's awesome.
What an absolute chockers weekend. We didn't even talk about any EPL games in this one.
I talked about EPL heaps. We got so much sport. It's nuts.
Exactly. We got AFL. We didn't hit an NRL game or anything in this one, but that's it. That's why we have CoBet Daily AFL. That's why we have CoBet Daily NRL, and why we have CoBet Daily EPL.
Absolutely.
Go subscribe to all those shows, and they set up every weekend. So subscribe to those feeds as well. That's it for CoBet Daily for today. We'll be back on deck on Monday morning. So get right around the show, like, review, and star it, as well as being subscribed. And of course, as I said, subscribe to the AFL, EPL, and NRL shows as well, and just have an absolute betting sports feast each week.
Have a ball,
Chuck a follow across the socials as well, Facey IG, Twitter, TikTok. Leo is doing a great job. You can actually check out all the videos from a bunch of CoBet Daily stuff that we've thrown up there. A bunch of the AFL over-unders as well, which you'll still be able to get on. Send in any questions via the socials. Leo, fang those through and we'll answer them. So there we go. Awesome. Thanks, Stats Guy.
Thank you.
Thank me for doing all of Alex's work for him. So there we go. Good job. And thanks to Gerald, as always, for producing. And thanks to me for, getting behind my work because I'm doing Alex's stuff too. But anyway, what do we say, Stats Guy?
Gamble responsibly.
Love it. All right, may all your picks come in. Happy punting. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you on Monday. CoBet Daily. Out.